Can you repeat the question?
Sir?
Okay. In terms of experience, CEO experience running a corporation, the company that I run, Service Central Incorporated, we've been in business for 10 years. It's a small, modest company. My experience is in leadership. I look at the government that we're trying to install here similar to the federal government, and that we have an administrator or a county executive, and we have a legislative branch. My experience is to act as a steward for the county and to offer my leadership skills as a team leader.
And running a business, Mr. Voinovich?
You know, the question of who's got the experience to execute, that's what the executive does. As I said before, I've started over 6 businesses. I've been the chief executive of all of those businesses. And what we really need to realize is that we can't do this alone. What I'm going to do is hire the best possible people to help me, people who have experience, more experience than I do in actually managing people. I'm actually going to admit that I don't have all the answers, that all the answers aren't right here. I'm going to actually reach out to people that can do the job better than I can. What I'm going to do is lead. And what leading is you propose a vision, you put it out there, you're not afraid to get criticized, you're not afraid to be criticized by people who are going to try to poke holes in it, because you actually reached out for help and want to collaborate.
Thank you, and thank you, audience, for your questions. I will now have a final question for each candidate with a time to respond of 2 minutes each. They will answer this question in a pre-selected order. This does include answering the question and your final remarks. The pre-selected order is Mr. Voinovich, followed by Mr. Casey, and lastly Mr. Dolan. The question: several proposed Lake Erie wind farm ideas are in the air, some hoping to be producing power in as little as 2 years, but the plans have engendered controversy. Where do you stand, and where should the county stand on the idea of placing 300-foot tall turbines in the lake off our coastline, providing power, but changing how we use, view, and profit from Lake Erie? Mr. Voinovich.
Lake Erie is probably the biggest opportunity that this county has to do anything, and putting the wind farm out into Lake Erie is something that we need to continue to pursue, because it's an idea whose time has come. We've got a wonderful lake. Everybody knows that this is the windy city, more windy than Chicago. And with that asset, an asset maybe that's been just dormant, we can take maximum advantage of it. Now, we are going to create in the energy area a vibrancy center, because what we want to be known as is the sustainability capital of the world. Now, we all know Mayor Jackson went for that several months ago when he convened all these people. What we need to do is build on that. We need to look at the ways in which this county can be world-class when it comes to sustainability. And there's the technology, the manufacturing, everything that needs to be done here can be done here. We are rich with manufacturing. We have one of the top manufacturing centers in this country. We have, in the city of Cleveland alone, we have 40,000 people working in manufacturing. I was with a person the other day who told me, she's an economic development person, she said, I came to Cleveland because you have the best manufacturing that I could find in the Great Lakes. That's why I'm here. If you can't make it here, you probably can't make it at all. And what we need to do is we need to build on that. As far as the lake itself, we've got to do something with the lakefront. It's certainly been a underutilized asset. You know, in Chicago, 25 miles is accessible, 1 mile isn't. Guess what? It's just the opposite in Cleveland, in Cuyahoga County. We've got to change that, and that takes leadership, by the way, and it takes trust. The reason we haven't developed our lakefront is because nobody trusts each other. And when I'm the county executive, we're going to build a culture of trust that will allow us to be the bully pulpit to make sure that it actually happens.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Casey, you have 2 minutes to close, beginning with the question about the Lake Erie wind farm.
Yeah, wind energy is a good idea, and a lot of private owners, people who have the money to invest in a windmill, can probably reap some benefit from it. It's not an efficient way of producing energy. Right now, the energy that it takes to erect and manufacture a windmill does not equal the cost in the energy that we get back from it, at least not in the short term. I think it probably takes something like 15 to 20 years for that cost to be recouped in gaining back energy. And then, of course, we run the risk that is not going to malfunction over that 20 years. I think getting back to the idea of biodiesel, this is something that we can trade in units. Okay, this is something that we can invest in, and it's available today. It's not something that's made up. It's not something that is not proven. It can be produced very easily, and so I think that's something that the avenue that we should go. In closing, I just wanted to let everybody know that my campaign is a grassroots effort. I do feel that I'm the most conservative member on this panel. I am not accepting any campaign contributions, and my campaign is entirely self-funded. I just wanted to restate that I'm here to stand up for the people of the county, for the people of the country, and try to do what's right and protect our assets. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And Mr. Dolan, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for moderating. I maintain a cautious support of the wind farm pilot program. And the reason it's cautious is for three things. One is I want to make certain that it's going to require a great deal of government money. What is the long-term subsidies of the pilot program? And if we can't get our arms around that, then my cautiousness would increase. Second is that we work in conjunction with, as I mentioned earlier, the private sector to make certain that these pilot programs are being worked with the manufacturers so that the parts, the boat that's going to put the offshore wind turbines in is all produced here, made here, and that we create an economic environment here. And third is that we don't lose track of onshore wind technology, which is rapidly increasing, so we can take advantage of smaller wind turbines in our cities to grab attention or to grab that wind. So as long as we can continue to address those three issues, it will continue to have my cautious support. We have a real opportunity this fall. Not only an opportunity as a party, but an opportunity as a community. But the opportunity, it didn't make itself when we just changed the chairs of government. We just reformed the structure. It absolutely has to be we change the mentality of our government. That we reach out and understand that it is working with the private sector. It is working with the individuals. It is creating an environment for economic opportunity that we can restore Cuyahoga County to where we once were. I am the only candidate here that's capable of winning in November. As much as we want to talk about grassroots or not grassroots, I have grassroots. I have money. The entrenched interests of the Democratic Party are working every single day to beat us. And we can't go forward without our strongest candidate. And I am our strongest candidate to win in November, and I am the best candidate of the Democrats, of the Independents, of the Republicans to lead in November. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to your vote on September 7th.
Thank you to all of our candidates. Again, Paul Casey, Matt Dolan, Victor Voinovich. Election day is 4 weeks from yesterday, September 7th. Of course, absentee balloting has already begun. Jim?
Today at the City Club, we've been listening to a debate between the Republican candidates for County Executive, Paul Casey, Matt Dolan, and Victor Voinovich. Don't forget to vote on November 2nd. Thank you, Rick, and 90.3 Ideas Stream, and thank you, audience. This forum is now adjourned.